Okay, well, I want to welcome everyone to another live day trading webinar with Daryl Morse and Limitless Volume. Those of you that joined us back on April 21st, you watched something that was pretty incredible. It may be incredible to you guys because, you don't see it every day, but we watched Daryl basically make about $25,000 in 20 minutes. When I first saw that, it was pretty incredible, but now I see it pretty much every day when I'm in the day trading room. So it's not so incredible anymore. I hope you guys enjoy this. Daryl has become a very good friend of mine, and he's really an expert at what he does. So he'll be trading with real money in real time, and you'll be able to watch exactly what he does. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Daryl and his team, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Oh, one last thing. If you do have a technical issue, put it in the chat room. If you have a question, then you put it in the Q&A room. Okay, so a chat room will be the technical questions. Q&A will be for any questions that you have for Daryl. Daryl may not be able to answer the questions right away because he is going to be, focusing on his trades, but he'll get to them later on after he's done with his trading. All right, I hope everybody enjoys it. Go ahead, Daryl, take over.
All right, good morning. My name is Daryl Morse, with Limitless Volume, and really appreciate you guys being here. Basically, what we're showing you today is some live day trading. You're going to be seeing some screens. Guys, don't get too overwhelmed with this information. Our curriculum teaches people that they don't know anything about trading to placing trades. We're creating freedom. I live in Maui now, and I can live anywhere in the world. And what you're doing is you're just creating, the commodity of time, which is super important. I just always felt like I was always missing something because I wasn't learning from someone that was trading with their money. They would always send me things after the fact. And I always believe you can always look like a genius on Monday when Sunday's game's over with. And, I like to look at the noise that we have and, what the noise that you have on the market, and then create a means for it, for understanding. So, I just believe that, you really, the human being has the knowledge. It's just, do we really apply it? And that's why I think accountability comes in with a mentorship. It keeps you focused. So that's what I have right now. We got Bo here would like to say some things that trades with me. He's become an exceptional trader. So here we go.
Hey, Daryl, good morning. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I came on board about 4 years ago, and I came on board because I started developing an interest in trading, and my interest, as I was getting to be an older chiro, they say they have a saying in chiropractic: you have old practitioners and volume practitioners, but there are no old volume practitioners. And I was one of those guys and feeling my age, and I was looking at what I was going to do once I started approaching retirement. And I always had an interest in the stock market, but I found it, quite honestly, to be very intimidating. And so I started looking at programs, and I even bought a few programs to try and learn. And in all these programs that I looked at and bought, it was always somebody talking about trades they had made, and they'd always tell you about their wins, but they never tell you about their losses, and so I started recognizing really soon, for anyone that claimed to have a system, if you're really going to be able to woo me, to garner my support and my desire to be a part of your program or to pay for your program, I'm going to want to be able to see you trade live. If I can't see you trade live, see your wins, your big wins as well as your big mistakes, or small mistakes, hopefully, then I'm not interested in being a part of what you're doing. So that really became the litmus test for me. Can you trade live and actually be able to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about, that you can read the market, And sure enough, I was part of another trading organization where that was definitely not the case. And I heard about a student that had come out of there by the name of Daryl Morse. And what I heard the guy would take $30,000, and within 90 days would turn 30,000 into $1 million. and pull that money out and then start all back over with 30,000 and be able to build it all back up again and repeat the cycle. And I thought, okay, now that sounds appealing. So lo and behold, Daryl Morris, and I called him up, spoke with him about it, joined his program, got started, and developed a great relationship with Daryl. He's very approachable. And I found his system to be very structured, very organized, and something that was very, very repeatable. And so, I started off that first year was kind of up and down because it takes a good year to get through it. And before you knew it, I was, winning 1,000 or a couple thousand on trades, and then sometimes even more. But I was having a hard time controlling my losses. And now I'm at the point where my average is 4,000 to 5,000 a day on the days I trade, and I trade about 4 days a week. So when you're making that kind of money, do the math. If you're trading 5 days a week, making 4,000 a day, that's $1 million a year business. So it's really given me the ability to know that despite anything else that I decide to do, practice or be involved in any other businesses, which quite honestly, I'm involved in quite a few. But as long as I, continue to be a part of, trading, I have the ability to make a far more than average income. And the thing I really loved about it was just the idea of freedom. No matter where I'm at in the world, as long as I have some type of platform to trade on, and a lot of times it's just my iPhone, guys, and you have an ability to understand candlestick patterns, you have an ability to truly have financial freedom in anywhere that you find yourself and in any type of market. And as you're going to see today, as long as you have volume and you have volatility, you have the ability to make money. So Daryl has been my mentor, my friend, and I can't tell him thank you enough for everything I've learned from him. And you guys are going to get a chance to see him do his magic today and hear us interact.
And thank you. Appreciate that. So I'm going to bump over to the screen we usually look at here, and then all right. So, we take a look at some of these stocks in the daily. Now, like I said, you guys are going to be a little overwhelmed with some of this stuff now. We use some indicators that just shows the barometer of the market. And we use, the Qs to spy in these candlestick format that, we could tell you the history about the Japanese candle. This thing's been around forever. And these moving averages, what side of the stack are we on? We trade north or south. Then you use the fear index, the VIX, they call it the VIX. And basically what this is when the VIX is going up and, there's fear in the market and volatility, usually the market's going down. If it gets in those 30s, high 30s, like we've had, and you can kind of see we've been having kind of like this retracement downward since we're out of free money now and, stimulus and that kind of thing. But this is normal, a cyclical move from the market. And it kind of just gives us a way of gauging on the daily, the weekly, and the 15 and, kind of thing like that. So like to take a look at a few stocks here that, they're in the news and kind of gapping up here. So right now we got this, let me just write these down real quick. If you guys see something. This is Palo Alto, a security company that reported earnings that did quite well. And you'll kind of see them on the daily here. It'd be nice if these were linked. You kind of see we got a nice big gap up here from the earnings, and it's continuing upward. So this one's on my watch list, just to kind of look at. It's a nice movement. All right, I got this other therapeutic one, and then we're going to go back to the regular ones we look at. It's just the whole thing about trading is you want this to be something you can duplicate, and it's easy to do, and it doesn't take like a brain surgeon to do, but you don't want it to be like, oh, it's just so easy. My mother does it, and she comes in and look at her video, or a guy's 12 years old, he sends a video, of his son trading. Now let's get real here. You're trading against the best traders in the world. So there's got to be some kind of skill set to this. So, it does take commitment. But I think once you learn the system, it works really well. So it's not so easy that if you got $50,000 in your account, you're going to end up making 100 if it just goes over the green line, you trade it. Now it's not that simple. Okay. So we got this one here. That's pretty interesting. This UTHR. Okay. So I'm just going to put the ones that are kind of, ones that are, you got 7,000 stocks to look at, that are out there. And then, you're trying to look at things you can repeat. You're not trying to search for brand new stocks every single day. So you can trade a core of these stocks. Okay. So it's kind of interesting how this works. Let's just go back to a lot of the ones we trade here. And then we can kind of trade the options. If you're familiar with the options, puts and calls, weeklies, you can control these for $17, $18. So $18, let's say you're paying for a put option. One would cost $1,800 and you control 100 shares. So imagine the power you have when you're trading a $653 stock and you can control it 100 shares for $1,800. So the limit on the downward side could be 300-400, but the upside could be infinity. Does that make sense? So we can look at this kind of like the futures are down. Okay, so we got this gap down from the market, and I like to kind of see where the close was from the previous day. So we obviously got a real, if we look at Tesla and it's 674, and we're now in the 650s, we got that $20 move already, this gap all the way down. And then, if we look at the daily, we kind of can see that on Tesla, the low of the previous few days, here's a 637. We could easily visit that today. Now, you're not going to see this on the daily candle until it opens, but we could easily visit down in this area. Okay. And then let's see, Bo likes Amazon. Who wouldn't, right? Amazon's just a powerhouse. We got that same kind of look down here. Isaac, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we could visit that? 2000 seems pretty popular, but that we're still at 2001. So that seems to be holding the 2001 right now. So it's in between that 153 and that 254,
Yeah, it's got the split going on Friday is the date of account. So it could be pretty volatile for the next couple
the
days.
25th, if you hold one share, you'll have 20 on the 6th of June. And the same thing goes with the option. Okay. So it's kind of a unique situation. So there could be that kind of in play too. So that's very good. So I'm looking at those key support levels to see if we can hold on those.
The low tick, are you thinking we still get a pop on maybe Amazon? Tesla looks pretty weak here, but Amazon could actually give us a pop up. You can try and scalp, or are we gonna wait and?
Yeah, just if we can hold these low of the days and pop up into the average, we could get a little pop with a low tick. We're probably going to get a minus 1,200 plus.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at some of these days, like when you have the reverse tick, where the market's directly opposite, you see how the market comes down. When we have something that's up with a gap up, you have this high tick that's up here. It's interesting. And then another example would be, here's a lower tick. This is probably what we're going to have today, something in the 1200s. And you can see as the market moves up into the means where you can capture some of that movement. So that's probably what we're going to have today. Just looking for a few days back. So yeah, for sure. I just want to see if Tesla holds these key support levels. And we'll see. Should we look at the video too? We got a little time here.
Their volume, all of their volumes are low too in the pre-market here. 376,000 shares for NVIDIA is terribly low for them.
Yeah, it's just, you know, what happens is when all these companies report earnings and we're getting to the cycle through the earnings, because, you know, every quarter they report, what else moves the market? The market has to be news or some type of earnings or some type of event. So less and less as we get to the last part of the earnings part of it, then we have to cycle down on just the volume. So that's super important. That sometimes there may not be a trade. There may be, it's just as important to know when not to trade it is to trade. Okay. And we may be sideways for a little bit. So, you know, and here we go. We got a little pop here. You know how it goes. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking we're probably going to get a run a little bit off this 651 upward. And if we don't hold any of these key support levels from the previous day, you know, it doesn't fill some of these gaps, we're probably going to run right back down. That's my thought, unless the candle pattern changes, you know. You know, it doesn't, what's nice about it is you don't have to guess. And it's, you know, the bias, we're not trying to be right. We're trying to make money. And it doesn't matter if you lose a trade. It's really okay. If you get stopped out, you just take your loss. You don't have to be right in this. It's not about being right in ego. Okay. You're going to miss a bat. You're going to miss a shot. Anything you do in sports or anything in life, you're not 100%. It is what it is. It's risk. You're managing risk. Super important to learn that. Okay. So, you know, we got some things that help us out, like got these kind of cool things that you can do high, low, close, and it puts it in here. And it kind of gives you where the high, low, close was of each day. And you can kind of see what Amazon has done in the last 5 days. And I can see where support and resistance is going to have its issues with going to the left here, and then back down here in the bottom. So I have a big advantage by looking at all this, that I can look what happened the previous days. Because this is what all these algorithms are set, and all the flash boys and the big boys that are trading, they're looking at all this. Okay. There's no guesswork in this at all. I think your brain is the best indicator. There's 34,000 of them, and there's tons and tons being made right now. If you need a new indicator, become a better trader, no bueno. Okay. So, you know, I kind of look at things like this. Like I said, if this stuff looks a little overwhelming at first, the learning curve gets real quick. Okay. Because you can be able to chat with us in the trading room one-on-one, but you also get to see a screen, which is very unusual. Most people do not show their trades. They don't. They talk about them and they send them out. So this is, you know, I just can't imagine me sitting here and not trading with real money. What's the point? Why would I get up at 2:50 in the morning to do all this? You know, Maui's amazing. I love it. So it's the sacrifice I make to go swimming in its 80-degree ocean every day, you know.
You know,
what you thinking?
You know, one of the things when I was first getting started trading, and I know for a lot of the guys that are, you know, logging on and watching this morning, is that what you're going to see is try and focus on some of the patterns. Most of this is just pattern recognition. So even if you don't understand a lot about the market and you start watching what's happening with, you know, you notice on one indicator, say SPY or Qs, you're seeing the move, you'll see that it's making a very similar move in other indicators. So a lot of this is just pattern recognition. And one of the things, you know, you'll hear about is morning stars, evening stars, or hammers. And you may hear us talk about that this morning. So don't be intimidated by all the tech stuff that you see. This stuff is very, very learnable. Hey, you didn't get through school and get, you know, where you're at now by being dumb, right? So the very fact that you've done that says you have the ability to pull this off. So don't be too intimidated by any of the tech wizardry that you might be looking at. It's really not that difficult, guys.
You see this over here on the left, and this, instead of just having the volume bar down here, the volume bar is over here, and you can put any kind of number you want in there. So each one of these bars in time are 150,000 shares. So you can kind of see directional move on some of these also. That would be normally down here that you see this here, but you can have this next to it to see the power of that move. Because, you know, if you buy the stock, you buy the option, someone else has to buy it after you for it to move. It can't just be you seeing the pattern. Okay. So it's super important just to see if it's got volume within that whole move. And then where is it moving from? You know, where's it bouncing off of? And this is all taught in the curriculum. The curriculum is all online. The classes are taught online. You don't have to go fly anywhere to do this. And you get my personal cell number. You call me. I do a lot of the training and I do a lot of the coaching. You know, Bo does a lot of it. Eric does a lot of it. But these are guys that trade and make real money. Okay. They don't really have to have side. Eric, he's a trader. He doesn't do anything else. He's 21 years old. He started with me at 19. It's amazing. So it's pretty cool. Let's see here. You guys see anything else? We never really looked at NVIDIA. We looked a little bit at it. We still got like 8 minutes before we go live here, but NVIDIA at 167, what is that now? 150. So we got at 166. So you see how it's very, very consolidated down here, and hasn't really moved that much here. So we'll just kind of take a look at this and see if we get any volume. There's not really much of a pattern here to trade. So I'm probably going to stick with Tesla and Amazon today. Like I said, we may get a little pop here because the tick's going to be pretty low upward. But I'm in the camp of letting it pop and then running it back down personally. Okay.
That's what I'm leaning towards too, buddy.
And then we'll just see what these candles do. And if I don't place a trade, I'll tell you. If I'm still waiting on something that I don't see, and I may miss some things, but that's fine. There's another bus stop. There'll be plenty of trades. You know, I just always ask myself, can I do this? Am I smart enough to know how to do this? Do I want to spend time learning how to do this? And there was just certain key elements I had to bring in to this that would make it so you could learn it. And one is visual, and one is you got to be able to see it. You can't just be in a chat room talking about something, but you can't really see the guy who created it. If he's never there, what's the point? You know, but that makes sense. Okay. And Roku is at $85. You gotta be kidding me. That's a $400 stock. All that pandemic stocks, you know, Peloton and Zoom, you know.
No.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a small little pop here. I just don't know if I really want to scalp up. You know what I mean?
I may not at all. We're not seeing much movement up on anything, you know, coming into the open here. So it doesn't. I mean, the market still looks very, very weak, Daryl.
Kind of strike we're going to get on those puts, but like a 655 or what?
Yeah, I think that looks good. I was just looking at that
because I got to calculate $20 down because you know the options, you know. Guess I may want to wait for that to populate and see what it does because options don't really load until the market opens, you know. You like that strike or?
Yeah, I do.
655 would be close to the money, you know.
I got a feeling a lot of the open interest will change here once the market opens, and we'll see kind of where we want to be. Getting a little pop in Amazon here. Amazon seems to like to, with a low tick, likes to pop here at the open.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's so extended, and it's with, you know, it going through a split soon. I think it does have some potential to have a little bit of velocity with a pop up, you know.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
NVIDIA dropping here hard. You see this?
Yeah. What led the market yesterday was the financials. You look at the sector here on the radar screen, and you kind of take a look at some of these movements in the Dow Jones and the SPY, and most of them were financials. And this kind of breaks it all down for you, which is cool to have. And you can kind of see the sectors of which ones are moving. And most of them yesterday were financials, which is pretty wild, And oil too.
The NASDAQ still looks really weak. The Dow on the futures this morning is moving up a little bit, but the NASDAQ is staying around negative 200. So it looks like as a sector, the tech sector is going to stay weak, which would be the cues indicating that.
So you got about 4 minutes here.
Just another one that might be in play today. We got Facebook, a ton of volume and it's dropped a bunch.
Which one?
Facebook.
What's that, about 186 or something?
Yeah, we're down to 180.62.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they reported good earnings too, Yeah, for sure. So we got another 3 minutes before the market opens. 3-4 minutes. So we're just kind of waiting for the bell to pop off. And I got puts loaded in Tesla at the 655s. So I want to see if it's holding some of these moving averages. My close is way up here, so there's a lot to fill for this to be on this side of the stack. When we talk about the stack, we talk about these moving averages of the 11, the 21, and the 50. And we can explain all that later. Well, good luck, guys.
You too.
Still got a couple minutes here.
Amazon's dropping hard here. It's dropped $10. Market's really weak looking. Look at that, Daryl.
Yeah, it's just.
I think I'm going to probably avoid the pop-up like you said and look for how much of a move up everything makes.
And we could get this little spike up and give us a better price in downward,
Yeah.
Unless, if this starts filling the gap up, it may be a different story. But right now we're kind of guessing.
Yeah.
So we're just going to wait and have no bias on what's going to happen. Here we go, guys. Well, we got 2 more minutes. Every time it clicks a minute, I'm like, I'm ready,
SPY and the Q still struggling here to get positive, staying beneath the stack on all of our indicators.
Here we go. We got about 40 seconds. I just want to see where they populate here. These puts for Tesla. What strike I'm going to get here? Got about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Zoom's popping a little bit. Got some earnings.
Negative 900 tick.
So I'm taking some puts here in Tesla. As you can see, the screen, we're up about $1,000, $1,200 right now. You see how this is moving up, 1,400. So it kind of gives you an idea. Okay. $2,000 up 2,000. You know, it's pretty cool. You know,
Nice trade. I'm waiting on Amazon.
so you got a little bit of a fire off here, but this is probably going to come ripping right back down. See all that nice long deal? That was a $2,000 trade I captured downward. So it's pretty nice, you know. It's probably going to come all the way back down. You see a little bit of, try and see the tick coming up a little bit, the market trying to rebound, but this isn't going to last. Okay. This is coming scissoring all the way back down. You better get that again. So I'm going to grab it again. You'll see this kind of like come back down. It's not going to last. Okay. Real weak market, you know. So that was a quick $2,000. Okay, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make it $2,000 again. Okay, I'm up 700 again. I'm up 1,200 again. Do you see it's coming back down? So here's another 1,500. You know. Now this is just with a small size, guys, not a very big size. So you just see the power of this whole thing with his options, and just see the candle coming down. So I'm up 2,800 again. I could show you, but you get what I'm doing here. Okay. And I'm trading with a $30,000 account. Okay. You know, not a very big account. So there's 1,400 again. I just sold half position.
I'm in these Amazon puts, Daryl, off 2,100.
That's awesome. So we're right there is $2,300 again. Pretty nice, huh?
And what, 3 minutes?
Yeah. So I'm out of that trade. Just because, when you start making this kind of money and we've only been doing this for 5 minutes, what's the point, right? I mean, if you can't be happy with $2,300 on a trade, well, come see me, okay? Talk to me, call me up, okay? But you see how the market fluctuated back up on the Tesla here? And I can see the volume chart coming back in here. So I wanted to make sure I captured that money. Now, this may spring up and come all the way back down. We can grab it again, okay? So this looks like we're still continuing downward. So we grab some more puts going down. Do you see how it's not holding these candles? So this is a super choppy market and we're going downward. You see the Qs, the SPY, and you see this VIX coming up. So these are trades you can do. I'm going to wait because I've pretty much made an exceptional amount of money, I think, and I just don't see a pattern to trade right now. I'm just jumping in. I'd like it to drop below the low again, and I'll grab it. I mean, this stuff still amazes me. If I can make $2,300, and just kind of show you here. I mean, this is real money, guys. That's $2,300, okay, in minutes. So it's pretty cool. Doesn't say simulator over there.
Still in this Amazon, looks like it's going to break through 2080, Daryl.
That's awesome. Probably going to grab some more Tesla puts here because the market's it's super, super weak. Okay. And just ride this thing downward for some more cash, And so what's nice about options, they get cheaper as the week goes on. And, buying these for between $25 and $30, they're going to be 18, 16, and 15 all the way to Friday. So it's kind of cool to know that also. Okay. Kind of interesting, But this is all going to bleed off. This is all going to come down again, downward. So you're going to see this 640 come down probably into the 640 downward. You see the market bleeding off. This is all going to come down into this level. So you're going to be able to grab all this chatter downward. Okay. You see the market bleeding off. This isn't going to last. And this is going to come back down. So it's going to be kind of cool. Got another candle coming up here in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to roll to a 10-minute candle. So each one of these candles is 10 minutes. You don't see the variance of this. You see this is probably going to come all the way back down into here. So it's kind of cool, See the volume chart here. It's going to you'll start seeing it give up its money backwards, downward. It won't hold. The market's not going to hold. So I'm just going to wait a little bit here. This starts breaking down below this level. I'm taking it downward again. Okay. So we break into the 646.55 downward. I'm taking puts again. But you'll see it's going to happen. Well, there's a high probability. All right.
Hey, Daryl, we had someone ask, how many contracts did you take and what expiration?
I took the 655s and I had 5 contracts. So really didn't really, I'm trading with a $30,000 account. So hardly even used, that helps you. Okay. So, I mean, I think we grab 20. So see how this is breaking down through here again. And you see this candle probably going to start breaking downward. Now, if we go the other way, then I won't trade them. I won't trade them down. Okay. So 5 contracts is just a small position, aim small, miss small, because really we're trying to control risk. So 5 means if it went down $500, $1, I could control about a $700 downward move on a $30,000 account. So I'm grabbing these puts again. You see why? You see how it's kind of fizzling out here? Capture some more of this chatter here coming down. I'll try to explain a little more about the option thing, but you can control the risk really well. Shares, you can't do that. They move too fast. And it's, what's the point? Why use margin? You don't need to use margin. You can just use what's in your account. You don't have to leverage options. I like that also. You don't need to get into these trades where you have to leverage all this money, for margin. Do you see how weak this is? And it's not really holding. And it's coming back down. So you don't want to get caught up in these pops because they're short-lived, We're trading on this side of the stack, so the marbles rolling this way. We don't want to fight the trend, and the trend is down. So a lot of people try to do this off the bottom up, off the bottom up. Well, why? What's the point? Why not just trade the direction of the market? You don't need to guess. Just let it break this and grab the puts.
I just got out of that Amazon with $16, so not bad.
Yeah, that's amazing. He probably had 3 or 4 contracts. The guy's making $3,500, $3,800, right?
About that, yep.
So it's pretty sweet. Bo's been with us. He just took hold of it, and he's done quite well. He's not on the payroll. Nobody is. The payroll is they're making the cash here. Trading. So these puts are working. You see how it's breaking down through the downward channel here. So this will probably be another $2,500 trade. You see how it's blown through.
Mm-hmm.
It's not holding that key support. So where's this thing going to go? It could go to 37. So we look over at the daily. I need to look at let's just take a look here. Going to get one of my workstation bars back up here. So we take a look at the daily chart here, and where could this Tesla go? Okay. You're in control of what you're doing, so you can do these trades, and it's not a guess type of deal. So you see these tails here where the daily chart is. That doesn't look like, if we went upward, that would be a nice morning star, but we're not breaking that nice 656. So you can see it's a downward move. We could hit in this 634 today. We could test that. So it's kind of interesting. Now, if this breaks up through the top, then what it does is it creates a morning star, and that's a bullish type of candle. But right now, it's a failed star up in a downward move. So this is real bearish, what they would call, okay? And not very, very powerful, okay? And the overall market's kind of like that too, okay?
Look like we're going to plunge again here.
Yeah, we're failing some of these upward moves. The Qs are still getting buried downward. You don't really see any wicks on these candles. A little bit of the SPY, but that's the financials. But these are still down significantly. The Dow is down about $170. So and you got the VIX rate rising a little bit here. Vol spread is the volume. It's kind of moving down. This is going to take a little time, but this is all going to reel back down this way. Okay. And that's unless something changes. Okay. Got a little bit of a green popping in here. but we'll see if that's short-lived. A lot of people are, wow, look at that, it's green, let's get in right now. And then all of a sudden, turns red really fast, So they get that false sense of the move, but really we're moving downward. We're below this stack, which means we're still trending in the downward section. These little pops mean nothing. These are the amateurs getting waxed. Okay.
I got back in these Amazon puts. It just looked too good not to.
Yeah, I mean, it broke that 2100. You could get into the 53 now, right? That's the 2053. So that's kind of nice, So let's take a look at this Amazon here. But you see the interaction is super important. You see why he's in this trade, because there's not really showing any green in the upward. So why would he fight? Why would he not just stay in that downward move and make that nice money? And this doesn't look too promising up, does it? So why fight the trend? Just trade it. You don't need to catch some bottom feeding stock going up. You'll be here a long time. Okay. He's probably up some cash already. Okay.
Big time.
So that's kind of cool.
I'm up
And
$36 so far in Amazon.
So just look at this guy. Look at this guy. Does it seem like he's stressing out right now about trading?
No.
Does it seem like I'm stressing out about my Tesla? You can kind of see it going down. So see how I didn't get caught up in that little green pop, and I'm making money now. See how I blew through that line? That's 646. So these are winning trades. It's just how much we're going to win, So that's kind of cool. And you hear my Maui roosters up real early. It's wild. I don't know if you've ever been to Maui, but you got to deal with roosters. But I'm okay with that. I'm not in Tennessee, but Tennessee's not a bad place. On the farm.
It's great, buddies. You can go back to bed before the sun comes up and already made 10,000 or more.
Yeah, so I'm already up 2,500 again in this trade. So that's kind of cool. I grabbed those same options, and I grabbed 6 this time, but 6 times 4. So I'm making 600 for every dollar it moves down. Okay, so 6. Does that make sense? So it's kind of cool, and I'm grabbing a delta about 55. All right, you can kind of watch those move if you want to. This could go to 633. All right. So we could be down in this area on the daily, just for the target that I think probably we may hit in this area. Okay. And we get these numbers. They're not just guess numbers. They're off the daily here. Okay. That's the daily bottom of the 634, 633 of that one tail. Okay. And then you look down here, it's already blown through support of the 700. You got to go back a long ways to get the support. Okay. Kind of cool, huh? Try talk and trade live ones.
Still in this Amazon, Daryl. It's crazy.
So this guy's making money here, making cheddar. So I'm up about 6,800 a day already, just on these two trades. Okay. Then an option I got at 25. It's at 29 now. Okay. Picked them up at $24.90, $25. And so I just don't want this to go past the profit. I don't want this to go past, this area here. 647. I don't want it to go through there. So I could sell half right now and just take $1,200 and see if it blows through the 640. Okay. The volume chart still looks like we're coming downward with a little capitulation, but that isn't going to scare anybody. This looks like we're still continuing downward with the new candles here. See?
We just bounced off zero on the tick too.
Yeah, it's nice. We're probably going to come down here in this tick. Now I could close this trade out with a $6,800 day already, and I'm not even a half hour into the market. And that's a pretty nice day. Okay. Just call this the no BS trading room. But you see how it's showing me that this is still breaking through the low, right? And closing this out right now is fine, or taking half, but let this run a little bit, taking half the profit, get to 1,200, and maybe we would make sure it doesn't go past the 645 to make sure we control that profit, okay? Because anything can happen, right? We're just doesn't look too strong up, does it?
No, not at all. It's like it's going to just relax and drop right back down again.
So it just depends how long you want to stay in these trades. And if you don't have the capacity just to go, oh, I just can't deal with this anymore, take your $1,200, take your $1,800 and take your money, if that makes sense there. So I'm closing this trade out with a good profit. I was selling into the upward move. It still hasn't hit anywhere into my stop. But we got this little surge up here and I just don't want to lose all that profit. Okay. But it's probably going to hit and come all the way back down. Okay. Doesn't look strong at all. The market doesn't look strong. This is a double bar, but a super weak double bar. This volume is hardly anything there. Okay. So I don't really think this is a reversal on the market. You just don't get that feeling like this is just a nice, we're going to run all the way back up into the close. You don't get that feeling, So this is really all the time you need. You could live quite well if you only made $500 a day, $2,000 a day, or $6,800 or $5,000. It's all relative, because it's the size. It's the size of the positions that you're taking. So it's all relative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're 2 contracts with you in Tesla is quick $600.
So see, you know what I mean, though. So we got a guy, isn't that amazing? Awesome. So you know how long it takes to make $600? Most people it takes a little longer than half hour in the real world,
Hey, Daryl.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that are still practicing, it's one of the things I did early on is I started scheduling my mornings off so I could just have 2 hours in the room and be a part of the room and a part of the community so I could learn. And that worked really well for me. So you can get in, trade for an hour, 2 hours. Usually we're done in 30 minutes. And then you can turn around and, if you want to head into the office, you can do that. So what's great is you can start off learning while you're still practicing and hone your skills, develop your confidence as a trader, see that you can do this, and then start fading, gradually out of practice. That's what I did. So still in this Amazon, I did not get out of that trade.
Yeah, it's a really nice trade. Let's take a look at the Amazon trade over here. I'm going to stick it over here just to take a look at the split screens here. Now, this is a 39-minute chart. So each candle is 39 minutes. That means in a trading day, there's 10 of these because there's 390 minutes in a trading day. You see most of the last 39 minutes have been a downward trend. Okay. It doesn't look like it's even half upward. The probabilities are we're going down. Do you see how this kind of failed here? That little pop didn't really mean much. And you see most of your watch list is still going down. So if we went over to a 15-minute, each candle's 15 minutes. you can kind of see we have a continuation of a downward move. And it got close to that 253 of the low and bounced off a little bit. But we're struggling. The market's still struggling. And you see Tesla still coming down. It's just, how patient are you with your trades? And if you don't see a reason to buy calls, which is up, why would you get out of your puts? If you don't see a pattern, an upward pattern, why get out of the position that's downward? You know? So you see, we're into the right trend downward, okay, on all these, because the market is not showing us, it's still weak. And this dollar tick is super powerful. What side has this spent most of its life on today? It's negative. You don't see any, well, a little tiny pop here, but you see this is all negative. So the overall market is gushing downward, okay? So it's pretty cool. I mean, this is another bunch of money right here. So,
you know, what's great is you can get out of 2/3 or 3/4 of your position, leave 1 or 2 soldiers in there and let them continue to work for you. And you can take a little bit more risk and have, you know, a little wider stop in the hopes of getting the big run, you know? And
right.
That's what I'm doing here.
So here's the target with Tesla at 630, 32, and 92. And that was all taken on the daily chart right here at the bottom 3 days ago. So there's a good chance we'll probably hit that. So that's another $5, right? That little tiny move there is $5 from there to there. Now you know why I traded Tesla. Clean, these are clean trades, okay? You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. That each candle body is downward, okay? Now you get the little fluctuation once in a while, then knee-jerk move, but we're still on this side of the stack. So this is repeatable. You know, you can do this daily and be satisfied. I can walk away right now and be super satisfied, you know. So this has got a good chance to hit into the 633, 34, 32.90. It's got a really good chance to hit that today. That's $5 more, a cheddar coming in. So we'll see what happens. It might take a few minutes. Let's say it only hits the 636. Still really good. But that option now is at $32.
VIX still going up, Daryl. Vol spread still going down. Still looks like a trend down day, you know, at this point.
I don't have my orders stuck on the screen. I want to see if I can put it on there. No, let's see. But this kind of shows you the power of an option. So these prices are at $24. So you see how they've moved upward and they keep moving. And the 24 to the 32, this is $7. Okay. The risk, there's not much risk in this because you're downward. If you put your stop a buck or two down, it never really hit that stop. So you see these move a lot slower and it'll let you stay in those trades. But you see how this is just spiking up. Well, you see here that Tesla's just getting its ass kicked. You see, and we're going to hit that 633. So there's just a lot more trades in, you know, you could do. But you see how this is just so powerful. Look at it moving. Isn't that cool? It's kind of cool to see that. So there we go. We hit that target of the daily. So it may spring along there for a little bit off the daily. And we'll see if it can blow through that. Okay. And create a new low from the 3 days. It looks like it's not going to make it. It's going to blow through there. So it's kind of cool. What I was kind of telling you guys is that was a $5 move. Well, $5, that's $3 you made on your option at a 50 delta. if you kind of knew that's probably where it's going to hit and you picked up 5 contracts, that's $1,500 on a $5 move that you could just made again. So that's why I love this stuff. It's really, and it's easy to teach, super easy to teach, especially if you're learning from someone who's actually trading, because you're just not going to learn from someone who's not doing it. What's the point? He's not going to understand the spreads and understand how to get in and out of the option, you know? Does that make sense?
Totally. I'm out of that Amazon.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm pretty much done today. If you guys got any questions or you see anything that you want, I can talk a little more now, but I'm pretty much done today. This is mainly what I do. I trade about a half hour. I don't trade more than that. What's the point? You know, I don't really need any more cheddar today.
I mean, I made 15% on my account today, Daryl. That was what, 30 minutes? Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, 15% in most hedge funds, and you see this little fear index going up, right? There's a lot of people freaking out, and you see this going up. So this is just the fear of the volatility, and it just helps you just show that the market's probably going to be zinging down. So this is we don't trade just because of that, but we trade because remember we talked about it breaking the 649, the 646 here, and now we're here. But you see how we captured all this nice move up and down and all these nice trades. Kind of cool. Now we could be doing the other direction up, but those options now are $40. They're 40. Pretty cool, huh?
And a large majority of the traders probably got their butts kicked today because they all thought we were at a bottom. They were all doing calls, you know?
Yep. And that's why we just don't have a bias in the market. And there's just not a lot of rooms that do not trade options. They don't know how to trade them. They don't know how the spread is, and they just trade shares. Well, if you're going to trade shares and you got to buy 1,000 shares of $628 stock, even though it's 4-to-1, you got to have a pretty large account to buy 1,000 shares. And I'm controlling 600 to 800 shares with such a small amount of money, you know? So I'm pretty much done right now. So that's pretty much what I got to show today. And I really appreciate you guys being here.
Hey guys, if you want to check us out further, just go into the chat and you can see we posted a link to our website where you can sign up for one of our free trial accounts, and that gets you access to our live trading room for a week. So come check us out over there.
And I really encourage you guys to do that. That really gives you a lot more opportunity to sit through a couple of days and see kind of what it's like to be in a trading environment and just kind of watch and see what trades are called out, because we'll call out, you know, what our exit plans on being and what our entry is, where we're getting in at. And what you find out is, even if you don't know a lot about the market, within a day or two, you're like, okay, I get this, I see that. And you're starting to add to your knowledge base, and you'll find out that you're starting to get a feel for the market. It's hard to do it with just one day.
And you want this to be consistent. And can I learn this? And is this just going to be so like time consuming? And what's nice about it is you can do this anywhere. You don't need to have 6 screens. I have a few here just because it's in my office, but a lot of times I'll try to trade from my iPad. But, you know, I wouldn't want to learn from my iPad, and I wouldn't want to learn from my phone. And, you know, it's a little more riskier. You got to put your stops in on your phone and your iPad. You know, you can slide a hard stop in. Here you got a little more control because you got this matrix over here, which is pretty cool. A lot of people switch over from TradeStation to go someplace else, but nothing replaces the matrix. The matrix is high powered, in and out. It's super, super great. And if you're a day trader, using TradeStation. Rest of them, they're okay. They got ladder. You place your order in. You know, Goldman Sachs, they use TradeStation. 1,500 traders. So, all right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate being here in your time. Okay.
Hey, Daryl, real quick, Daryl. Someone asked, on average, how much time does it take to learn this system?
What's nice about it is the learning curve goes about 10 to 1 because you're in the room all the time. And the curriculum, I would say, once you read through the curriculum and I teach each one of those sections, I would say probably 2 to 3 weeks, and it's probably spending maybe 5 hours, 5 hours per week. And then what we're doing is what we're doing is going in and looking at each one of your trades. So I think an hour a day would probably be what I would probably look at. Now, you know, the curve goes a lot quicker if you're spending a little more time at it because you're just getting familiar with it. And it's good to be placing some simulated trades. You know, Bo picked this up in 15 days. He was trading live in 15 days. Okay. That's pretty amazing. You know what I mean?
But guys, you know what? What we would have you do first is to go ahead and start trading in the simulation mode, so you don't have any real money at risk. And because once you set up a trade station account with a minimum of $500, you get a simulated account. So you're able to trade just like we're trading, take our trades, learn from what we're doing, and you have the opportunity to see kind of what would have happened had you been live. So you have nothing at risk. Once you should be logging your trades. Once you get to the point where you're seeing, hey, I'm positive, I'm green 6 out of every 10 trades, and you're able to manage your stops, not let things run against you, it's time to go live and trade small positions. So it just depends on you. Obviously, if you put more time into it, you're going to learn faster. And I put a lot of time into it because I knew this is something I wanted to own, and it's paid off big time because I've replaced my career, you know. And this isn't hard. It's probably the funnest thing I've ever done. It's funny. Somebody asked me, what's day trading like? And I said, you know what? It's kind of like fishing, Christmas, and cocaine all at once. I'm joking, guys. I don't do cocaine.
Even just the adrenaline rush is really good. But the nice thing about the adrenaline rush and not the gamble part is there's stops. And you can control your risk. Like on some tables at Vegas, you can't control your risk. You don't know what card's coming up. Here, you can control on an option. If you get in at $20 and you can get out at 18 or 17.50, one contract, that's $250 of risk. So it's kind of cool, you know. You hear the Michael Douglas and you hear all this other, you hear about professionals, handle their downward move, and amateurs are always worried about making money. There's all these proverbs and all this stuff, but you just got to be able to handle the size of your account and the size of the position. If your heart rate, I really focus a lot of present time conscious to stay super, super calm. You see me today, this was live money and I didn't change one bit. If I had 20 contracts, or if I had 5, okay? Same concept, okay?
And one of the things you'll learn in trading with us is you'll learn it's not just the technical aspect. There's a whole psychology to training, guys, and the psychology is the biggest part of this. You can learn the technical side quickly, but you're going to need someone to help walk you through the psychology of trading and staying comfortable, staying level, staying neutral. Because what happens is for a lot of traders, you make the mistake of you get exhilarated because you looked over at your money meter and you're up $4,000, and you get out. And the first thing your mind does is you start thinking that was easy. And now you want to turn around and you want to do what? You want to jump right back into another trade. And you think it's easy and you jump back into another trade and you get smoked. Well, the goal here is to stay level and calm through all of it. And if you listen to Daryl, if you listen to me, we're not all psyched up. And one of the reasons why is because we're also trading within a comfort level of an amount that we're okay with losing, So, and we know that some trades are going to go against us. I've had trades like this. I mean, this Amazon is down $55 from the time I got in it. Guys, if I'd have had, 10 contracts in it, I mean, I could very well be up, $100,000 in this trade, but I'm not comfortable with putting that kind of money at risk. I'm comfortable with allowing myself to be in a situation, to make 4, 5, 10 grand, but I'm not comfortable with losing 10 grand. So it just all depends on your comfort level.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. And you can kind of see the market really is stair-stepping downward. And you see, you got to put these indicators, you can't trade on a 1 minute or 2 minute. it's too herky jerky. You got to do a long-term 5 to 10 to 15 to stay in these trades. You don't see me trading on a 1-minute candle. It's just too much. Can you imagine being in a trading room and trading on a 1-minute chart? Look at this. You go cuckoo. What? How are you gonna do? How are you gonna stay in this? What? This looks like a train wreck, doesn't it? How do you stay in this? You don't. It's too right.
You had a question there too, Daryl. I guess Andrew was asking if you were going to, try and schedule time with which to learn this and to be in the room. I would say the best time to be in the room would be, the market opens at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We come in 9:10, 9:15 in the morning, do pre-market. And when the market opens, we're going to be there like we are today, till probably 10:30 or so. Usually by 10 o'clock, 10:30 at the latest, we've already made our money and we're done. So if you were going to schedule time to try and learn this, the best time would be to schedule mornings, probably Tuesday through Friday or Tuesday through Thursday when you're learning, to just be there from 10 minutes after 9 Eastern Standard Time till probably 10:30, 11. If you can do that, you're going to be able to follow in the room. You'll be able to pick this up, guys.
Because we're going over a lot of this stuff. And you learn, you could go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. One more question we got. Can you touch on why you trade in the morning versus like midday?
It's just you see the volume here. You see how nice the powerful volume. You see how this all kind of tapers off. Now, it doesn't mean that these patterns don't work, but what happens? They become choppy, and you could be in the wrong position on some of these trades downward. But if you pick downward and there was a volume, you look like a genius. See, look at all this volume. But if you wait until the afternoon, you see how just look how quick this goes below the yellow line yesterday. But you see how the candles get super, super small. It's hard to trade this, like right in here. That's 30 minutes of just not any fun. But you see how this is nice, a nice move of these nice thick candles. Does that make sense though? So you're trading the premium. This is where all the big boys trade, right here. And then they come back about 1 o'clock Eastern, and you'll see a little pop. But you see most of the days, unless it's just a huge downward day, you see most of the volume is right here. And obviously this was an upward day here, or a little bit of a pop here. And you see all that nice volume here in that first section. So that's where you want to trade, is all the power right there. And then does that make sense? And then you can take your whole day and enjoy yourself. You just take one section at a time. End of day, right after lunch, or call it the 1 o'clock pop. There's a lot of volume coming in. People coming in after lunch, East Coast, 10 minutes before, after 1 o'clock. It's kind of nice. Then FOMC meetings are insane. And I've made lots of money in the FOMC meeting. But you see, we're still heading down. You see the market still heading downward. Don't get caught up in these little herky jerk moves. That's why the 1 minute, 3 minute, you get killed. You get slaughtered. You can't do it. You'll think this is the bottom. You'll think this is the bottom. Look at the 3 minute. And I was in a trading room. They wouldn't, it's just too much. It's like, why would you take this long? What's the point? The trend is downward. Look at the market. It's downward. Why fight the trend? These are moving average pullbacks to a downward move. Okay. I just emphasizing this because it's super important to learn. Okay.
One of the things we talk about is not catching a falling knife. This is a falling knife, guys. You have no idea when the market's going to turn around, and there will be indicators when it hits, but why try and take calls right now? This is just dropping. You try and grab a falling knife, you get cut, And
if you're patient enough to stay in these trades longer and longer, that's great. I'm not supposed to look at my money meter, but I want to make over $5,000 or $6,000. I'm fine with that. I'm good. If I make $2,500 a day, that's plenty for me at this stage in the game. And I'll do have $25,000 days consistently.
One more thing I'll say too, Daryl, is, when I was looking at learning this, is I recognized early on the litmus test was having someone that can trade live and explain what they're doing, and you can follow their trades. And that was what Daryl was doing. But the other issue was just, I knew I didn't want a coach or a consultant that, would look at my trades and tell me what I was doing wrong when I didn't get a chance to see how they themselves were doing, and whether, with them being further ahead than I was, whether they were able to be successful. So I knew I needed a mentor, and that's what Daryl gave me. He gave me a mentor. So when you check into the room, and if you end up, taking us up on the free audit, what you'll see is, you'll see people that haven't been trading or weren't, on the panel this morning. They're asking questions live. In most trading rooms, you're texting, or you're muted. You're not able to speak. Well, we encourage you to speak because we know that's how you learn best. So you ask questions, not necessarily in the middle of us making, a trade when the market's moving quickly, but at other times in the morning, you're going to have the opportunity to ask those questions, and that's going to facilitate and speed up your learning at a much faster curve. I had a feeling this Amazon was going to go probably to 2000, but a lot of times, like Daryl was saying, we just get the meat of the trade. If you do have the patience to sit through this, though, I mean, think about it. That's $85 since I called out that trade around 2104, 2105.
There was a question about profitability and how to stop. Now, kind of look at your scorecard and the golf kind of thing. And let's say you start off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and each day, let's just put a figure out. You made $1,000. So we don't want to let that money go back to 500. So let's take that 1,000 and then the next day you make another 1,000. So now you have 2,000. You don't want that sliding down, 750. So each day you're going in with the number you're bringing in. You never let that go back 50% or 70% back with what your profit is. So you keep that 30% as a cushion to always use that money. And what that does, it keeps you focused on, and that number gets bigger too. Okay. So if I'm in the Friday and I'm up $50,000, I am not going to give up $7,500 of that because my position is going to be a little bigger, but I'm going to walk away in the 40s of massive money. Okay. So if you just use that mindset of always controlling that profit, you won't have any problem with day trading. Does that make sense?
Yep. And there's days that we're not green, but almost every single week we're green. And I think, Daryl, you're keeping a running tab. I don't think you've had a week where you weren't green in probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm green. We're very profitable every week. So, there may be a couple trades I'll lose $3 or $4, but I'll end up making 30. But that day, or 20 or 15. There's some sideways days that it's just not good trading, but we all see that. It's correct, exactly what you're saying. I'm running it's moved up a little bit. I'm about 86% right with my trades. And that's just because we're capturing a moment in time, these pullaways, and then we're measuring, because right now we're struggling at the 633. Well, 633 is at the bottom of it, is right here. It's struggling right here, but we hit that target. That's what's so powerful. That was our target way up when we were talking about it right here. Isn't that wild? When we were talking about it here, we were talking about the target where 633, and it hit it. That is sick, isn't it?
It really
and amazing, isn't it? It's what it's doing. It's floating right on that number. Pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I had 2060 set for my target on Amazon, which was $44 less.
Right.
And so once it hit 2060, I just got out. I could have stayed in longer.
Yeah, you didn't see us grabbing any calls today or anything, did you? You see us not fighting the trend. We're not going to fight. We're not going to try to find a bottom of something and try to keep going up. Now, you could probably take some of these trades up if you want to. But what is this going to do? Up and do an average and slam down? Right now, the cues are telling me unless something changes here, we're still moving downward. That's 40 minutes of downward move. SPY looks like we're still moving downward. And the Dow is 400 down now. We were 170. Your Russell down, big money.
Hey, Daryl,
Yeah.
can you touch on, so you explained how you protect your profit when you like made money in prior days. We had someone asking, can you re-explain that? You mean you only trade, say, 30% the next day of your prior profit to stay on top?
Yeah. So let's say, let's just use a number. Like for right now, I'm up, Monday, Tuesday, I'm up 24,000 for those 2 days. Okay. So let's just round it off to 20 grand. I'm going to take 15,000 of that, and I'm going to use that in a trade, and I'm going to make sure my stop position size, I will never lose $4,500 of that. Is that what you're thinking there? Is that what you want me to explain? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, the general rule is we're never giving back more than half the profit we've made in any given trade. So
yeah, and a daily type of thing too. We don't let 50% of the money come back. We don't want to give that back. We don't, if we're up $1,000, we don't want to give $500 back of that. We don't mind to let it work, but you can always get back in the trade, and I'm a bigger picture kind of guy. And, I like doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. Okay. And when my count gets to about 160, I reel it back down to 30, because it's really $160,000. You can control the world. You can buy whatever you want to buy. 30,000, just think about this. I'm trading a $30,000 account, and I made that kind of money today. It's pretty amazing, So.
Yeah, it is. And guys, quite honestly, one of the things too that I looked at is when you look at a mentor, as you grow, you want to always have a mentor that is beyond you. I kind of like that whole Bushido code idea that, you never, as a student, you're never greater than your master. I can tell you, watching Daryl trade these past several years, even though I've watched myself grow a lot, it's amazing some of the things that Daryl does. It's kind of border on being precognitive. I feel like I'm watching the Minority Report or something. And it's just kind of amazing how he calls out stuff. And then I started understanding what he was doing, and I was able to start doing some of that myself. But he's still so far beyond me. I don't care how long I trade. I don't think I'll ever catch up to him. And I can tell you he's modest. And, you heard Guy talk about making $20,000 a day. Guys, I've seen Daryl make money that's so far beyond that. I don't even want to talk about it because it would blow your concepts. But I can tell you Daryl makes stupid money every year, and he's one of the top traders in the world today. And you really should share your story, I think, Daryl, about when you did go visit Goldman Sachs before you get off.
I had the chance of sending, I wanted to send him a couple 100,000. And I said, why don't you get your top traders, a couple of your top traders, just line out your account and, just what trades you were doing. And then I'll send you, what I've done for 3 months, and let's just kind of compare notes. So, I send off my, portfolio and my account size and, account numbers and everything, but just lined out just a few numbers so they wouldn't, get in there. And then I didn't hear nothing. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I get a call from the vice president of the company, and it was like, hey, we'd like you to fly in New York. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Your trading is amazing. And you're the top 5% of trading. The way you risk manage, the way you trade, all that. So I went and talked to them, and they offered me a job. And the enticement was great. It's just living in New York and wearing a suit and just the way they wanted to spend their whole day. I just told them I like shorts and tank tops and flip-flops. And so what we did is we went and looked at risk management, and I looked at the trades that I do. And when you're trading in a big firm, a lot of them, they have to trade a certain type of stock, and they're getting commission on that. But what I did realize is just the power of a lot of people trading at one time in just a community. And there's some really sharp traders up there. But No one manages money like it's your own. There's more deals than money. If you manage your own money and learn how to trade, I realized long ago that that's the way to go. So I really never sent any of my money over there. And I decided that it was more cognate that I trade my own money. It's not unheard of for me to make 10, 15, 20% of my account each day. So, man, it's really a humbling story, but all the stuff I'm telling you is 100% true. And I have no reason to do a snake oil presentation for you. That's what really gets me. It's like, I have to sleep at night, and I'm talking about people's money. That really upsets me when I take a class and the guy that I took it from couldn't even come in the room and trade and never would show his P&L. And, this is many trading courses I've taken and never really get to see the real money. I just lose a trade in front of me. I want to see it, kind of super important. I don't want to think that I'm the only one losing money here, or am I not getting this? So it's kind of cool. Appreciate you letting me share that.
Awesome story.
There's a little more to it, and they offer me a nice big salary. New York's nice, but wintertime, it's not like Maui. And I was living in California at the time. And even San Clemente was a really nice place to live, and Temecula, a nice place to live in California. But nothing beats Maui. I don't mind getting up and doing this. This is pretty nice, All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Have a great morning, guys.
Yeah, and we put the link in one more time in the chat, guys. So check us out over there. We're www.limitlessvolume.com. And with the free count, what we're all about.